Thank you. Good morning. Thank you, Dr. Brown-Gilroy, President Rudley, the Regents, the legendary Thomas Freeman. Thank you. And of course, Dr. Sheila Jackson Lee. We thank her as well. I am pleased to join you all here on this very special occasion. First and foremost, congratulations to another Texas Southern University graduating class. Congratulations. Now, those of you who are graduating and you are the first in your family to graduate from college, raise your hand. Wow. You know, when individuals break new ground, that's good, but when families do it, that's even better. Congratulations to the seniors who played on your champion basketball and football teams. And congratulations, I've been a faculty member. Congratulations to the faculty who have added to the brain power in the world. Let's give the faculty another hand. Now, I noticed we had a lot of people to stand as supporters and everything, but I want to say something to this graduating class. There are people in your lives to whom you can look and say with all seriousness, if you had not been there, I would not be here. And I noticed that you all didn't stand up. You didn't applaud them like you should. So right now, I need you to say thank you to those family members and friends who have supported you for the last 4, 5, 6, 7 years. All right. Now listen, my time up here is short, so I don't have much time to spend. I know you all are waiting to graduate. I don't have time to acknowledge several friends of mine. I can't give a shout out to the Mallett family and Mother Mallett sitting right here, or to Marshalita Sims. I can't do that. I don't have time. I don't have time. I must move along. But I bring you greetings from the White House and from the Department of Education, where I can assure you that our HBCUs have friends like we have never had before. Some have wondered, is the funding to HBCUs up since Barack Obama has been in office? And the answer is yes, the funding is up, and it's way up. And it's up in spite of the recent cuts to the budgets. It is up to all HBCUs and to MSIs. And I just need to say that it's easier when you have good leadership that you can invest in. And your leader, Dr. John Rudley, is a solid HBCU president. He is a solid president of any college or university, and I think you need to thank him for that. You know, we have similar values. In his inaugural address back in September '08, Dr. Rudley outlined his vision for the future of this institution. And he said, to achieve greatness, you have to have the nerve to expect the best, and then put yourself in a position to compete with the best. At the White House, we expect the best from all HBCUs, and that's why we have a lot in common, and that's why I said yes right away when he asked me to come to TSU. Now again, I'm honored to be here, and I know that whatever I do, I cannot give a long speech. That would be a mistake. I read a Wall Street Journal article that said some 10 million adults in America have undiagnosed attention deficit disorder. Now, I can't tell you why that is, because I didn't bother to finish reading the article. But I read enough to know that I must not be long. This is your day. Graduates, this is your day. And listen, and I really want you to listen to me. Shh. Shh. Listen, you know, I'm not going to stand up here and try to say something to you graduates that you will remember for a lifetime. As these things go, you're going to forget what I said about 30 minutes from now, some of you. Some of you. But I'm here because this for me is an appointment. To say what I have to say today is an appointment. And some of you, particularly in this graduating class, you are here because you have an appointment to listen and to hear. Not everybody. You know, there's only one person I know in a setting like this who could satisfactorily feed 5,000. I'm not him. But I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my best. And I have an appointment to speak, and some of you, 1 or 2 or 10 or 20, have an appointment to listen. And if you listen real good, then this appointment can become an anointment. All right? So, you know, I thought about giving you a big mandate this morning. I thought I'd tell you that we have so many challenges in this world, so much to heal, so much to repair. I thought about challenging you to go out into this world and do something about the environment. If we don't cut carbon emissions, the planet will soon be in irreversible decline. I thought I'd come and tell you graduates to go out and do something about energy. If we don't find oil alternatives, our way of life will soon sunset. I thought I'd challenge you to go out and do something about poverty and hunger and homelessness and education. If we don't reform our education system, we will fall behind more and more nations. Education is the key. That is why President Barack Obama established what we call the 2020 college completion goal. By the year 2020, we want to have the most educated and competitive and diverse workforce in the world. You know, we used to be #1, but we have not been #1 in the world since 1995. We slipped all the way back to #12, and now we're back to #9. And we need about 8 million more graduates to recover. And to do our part as HBCUs, if we're going to do our part, we need about 136,000 more graduates above our current base and pace. And from Texas, we need another 13,000 graduates above our base and pace. And from TSU, we've done this analysis, we need you to produce 4,000 more graduates than you normally produce between now and 2020. So I thought I would challenge you graduates to go out and do something about education. Because you know what? Over the next 5 years, nearly 90% of the new jobs will require more than a high school degree. And yet, a quarter of our kids are not graduating from high school. 15 million kids growing up in poverty in America right now. Half will never graduate from high school. And the half who do graduate will graduate with 8th grade skill level. Nearly all of them wondering, where is my daddy? Where is my daddy? So I thought about charging you to go out and use your smarts and creativity and imagination to fix all of that. But instead of sharing that kind of impersonal mandate, I want to get personal with you this morning in just a few minutes. I want to ask you 3 questions. That's all this graduation speech is going to be, just 3 questions. 3 questions to take with you as you graduates leave Texas Southern University. The first question is, can you climb? Can you climb? It's a simple question about your readiness for the world, your posture, your attitude. Can you climb? Do you really know how to climb the ladder of success in this brain power economy? Do you know how to excel today? You know, the days when you could work for one company or have one career, those days are over. In the 21st century, You just can't command one knowledge base or one area of one subject matter. The ones of you who will truly succeed have to do that and then so much more. So much more. They will have to do extra. So the question is, can you climb? Can you be adaptive? And can you create? Can you operate with energy and passion and drive? Can you bring innovation and value to whatever you do and wherever you go? Can you climb, TSU? Do you know how to do that? Do you happen to the day, or does the day happen to you? That's the question. Beyond knowing what you majored in, employers today want to know, can you analyze and can you assess? Do you know how to diagnose and solve problems? Are you even wired that way? Is that your inclination? In this new knowledge economy, you climb by the way you think. That's what gets you ahead. Can you think critically? Can you go into a company and be indispensable? That's the question. Seth Godin calls the kind of people who can do that linchpins. These are people who create. These are people who go into situations and bring change and innovation and take things to a new level. Is that you? No matter what you majored in, you can do that in whatever setting you go into. Can you climb? The challenge here is to go out and climb and be a linchpin and transform the world. Second question. Can you lift? Can you lift? That may sound simple, but if you think it's hard to climb, it is sure enough hard to lift. What does it mean to lift? Well, let me give you a little history. Back in 1903, a brother named W.E.B. Du Bois wrote about lifting. He advanced a thesis that he called the talented tenth. I think it's interesting that a tenth of all the African Americans in higher education today are in black colleges. And we need to wonder if we are truly the talented tenth. This idea is that Du Bois said the race is going to be saved by its exceptional men and women. He said the educated ones, the ones with self-knowledge and self-control, they are the ones who are going to save us and to lift us. Why? Because they are the ones who have been taught to do so. Or so Du Bois thought. He said they are the ones with a spirit of sacrifice and service. They are the ones with the kind of character and purpose required to lift everybody else. That was Du Bois in 1903. Well, 48 years later, in 1951, he revised his thesis. He looked around and he said, ain't nobody lifting. There's nobody, we're not lifting as a people. We're not lifting. All we do is climb. And so many of us don't even look back, much less reach back. That's what syndrome he recognized in 1950. So then he switched his thesis from the talented 10th to the guiding 100th. Because so few of us know how to climb and lift at the same time, and he was disappointed. You see, lifting is doing well in order to do good. Lifting is being a servant leader no matter what field you go into. Lifting is helping somebody as you pass along and cheering somebody with a word or song and showing somebody he's traveling wrong so that your living shall not be in vain. As you leave Texas Southern, I hope you plan to lift, because if you can lift, then maybe your living shall not be in vain. And then the third question, can you build? Can you build? Can you climb? Can you lift? Can you build? Brother Eugene Robinson recently wrote a book called Disintegration. He describes 4 categories of black folk, and one of them he calls the transcendents. These are people who have built their lives and their careers and their companies so well that they have transcendent reach and influence. Talking about Oprah Winfrey and Tiger Woods and Bob Johnson and Don Peebles and Ken Chenault. Can you build like that? Can you build? Class, I'm talking to this graduating. Can you build? We need builders. We need many more builders than we have right now because so many of our institutions are broken. Our families are broken. 70% of black kids born today are born to unwed mothers. Our churches are broken. Our pastors used to be vehicles of wealth distribution, and now they are icons of wealth accumulation. I am the son, grandson, and great-grandson of preachers, so I can say that. Our pastors don't really have to bling as much as they do they? A Rolls Royce in the name of Jesus. Come on now. Come on now. Our families are broken. Our churches are broken. Our HBCUs are broken. If they weren't, my office would not exist. There's not a single HBCU with a first-rate capital base. I'm talking about somewhere north of $1 billion in endowment. Can you build? I need to know, and you need to know for yourself, do I intend to go out and to build? And what about for Texas Southern University? You know, one of the transcendents mentioned by Robinson is my Morehouse classmate and friend, Spike Lee. We entered Morehouse, we came out of Morehouse together. And in a movie called School Days, Spike shot one of the best scenes in American film when he had a fictional HBCU president turn to his board chair and ask the following question: why is it that blacks won't support black colleges? Why is it? Why is it? And he might have asked, how is it that we can have transcendent African Americans and not have any transcendent African American or black colleges and universities? We need to give. Can you build? Most alumni giving at HBCUs is in the single digits. Texas Southern has 70,000 living alumni, and yet only 5% give. That means that last year we had 66,000 people who did not write a check to TSU where they got their degree from. That is ridiculous. And we can change that. And this class can be the first class to go over 25, 50% giving, 75%, 100%. I challenge you to do that. I challenge you to do that. So then, as you graduate today, I want to leave you with 3 questions. I want you to leave here with 3 questions in mind. Can I climb? Can I lift? And can I build? I want you to take them with you. I want you to feel them. I want you to live out the answers to those questions. But wait, before I sit down in the last 2 minutes, I got one more question. Besides, can I climb and can I lift and can I build, there is one final question that I just have to ask. And that question is, do I believe? Do I believe? And the best way to convey that last question is to tell you a story. So I end with this. I traveled to Africa. Shh. I want you to hear this. Shh. I traveled to Africa 4 times on a fellowship back in 1992. I saw all 4 corners of Africa, but on this particular trip, about 5 of us made a journey to Johannesburg. And 2 of us split off and did a couple of days there in that city. We were there for a couple of days and decided to go by the office of the ANC, the African National Congress. Now, this was in 1992. This was after Nelson Mandela was out of prison. He got out in 1990, And it was before he was elected president. He was elected president in 1994. Went by the ANC and there was a lady on staff who gave us a tour. She drove us around for the better part of a day. We got back to the office and we were hungry, but instead of focusing on food, I asked the question. I said, you know, it sure would be nice to meet Mr. Mandela. Can that happen? And she said, wait, I'll call and see what he's doing. So she picked up the phone, called, and he answered. And by the sound of her words, we figured out that Mr. Mandela was hungry too. And I heard her say, oh, and Winnie's not home? And so she says, oh, well, I have a couple of American educators here on tour. If you want, we can go get some food and come by, and we can all eat together. And there was a pause, and then she said, great, we're on the way. Now, you talk about praising God. I was like, whoa. You got it. That's a quote from me. So we went to a fish fry and loaded up a bag or two and drove to the home of Nelson Mandela, rang the doorbell, and there he was. We talked for a couple of hours, eating a great meal. We took a few pictures, and at the end of a great conversation, I felt comfortable enough to ask him a question. I said, Mr. Mandela, how? How did you do it? How did you keep from going crazy? He was in jail for 27 years. He was in solitary confinement for 4 straight years. So little light, so little human contact in a 5-by-5 cell for 4 straight years. That's as long as most of you been at TSU. How did you do it? What kept you strong? And he looked me in the eye, and with more conviction than I've ever seen on the face of any human being, he said, Wilson, I believe. You know, and it occurred to me to ask him, Mr. Mandela, you believe what? But he stopped me. I started and he said, no, I believe. Graduating class, I want you to climb, I want you to lift, I want you to build, but most of all, I want you to, and we need you to, believe. Believe that one day we will emerge from this cell called war, and this cell called hate, and this cell called doubt, and this cell called underachievement. One day we will emerge from this cell called faithlessness, and we will truly be free. One day. Class, climb, lift, build, but most of all, believe. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you all. God bless you.